Alhamdulillah, in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious, the most merciful. Peace and blessings be upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Have you ever trusted someone with your whole heart, only to realize later that they never valued the trust you gave them? Perhaps you believed their promises. Perhaps you thought their loyalty would last forever. But slowly, the truth revealed itself, and the same person you trusted became the reason for your deepest pain. The reality of life is that trust is one of the most precious gifts Allah placed in the human heart. Yet many people give it too quickly to those who never truly deserved it. Before you place your trust in someone again, there are powerful lessons every heart must understand. Lessons that can protect you from deception, strengthen your wisdom, and bring your heart closer to Allah. So listen carefully, because these lessons may change the way you see trust forever. Lesson 1. Trust actions, not words. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships, friendships, and even everyday interactions is trusting words too quickly. Words can sound beautiful. They can comfort us, give us hope, and make us feel valued. When someone says the things we want to hear, it is easy to believe them. It is easy to assume that their promises are genuine and that their intentions are pure. But the truth is that words alone do not define a person's character. Anyone can speak kind words. Anyone can promise loyalty, honesty, and support. Someone can say they will always stand by your side, that they will never hurt you, or that they care deeply about you. In those moments, their words may feel sincere, and your heart may want to believe them, but words require very little effort. Speaking is easy. Living up to those words is what truly reveals a person's character. Real trust should never be built on promises alone. It must be built on consistent actions. Actions are far more difficult to fake over time. While someone can say the right things once or twice, maintaining the right behavior again and again requires honesty and genuine intention. This is why paying attention to how someone behaves over time is far more important than listening only to what they say. A person's true character becomes visible through their behavior in different situations. Notice how they treat you when they are stressed, when they are busy, or when things are not going their way. Notice whether they respect your feelings, your time, and your boundaries. Notice whether their actions show the same care and loyalty that their words promise. Sometimes people say they care about you, but their actions show indifference. They promise they will be there for you, yet they disappear when you need them most. They speak about honesty, but their behavior is filled with excuses and contradictions. These are the moments when actions begin to reveal the truth behind the words. It can be painful to realize that someone's words and actions do not match. Many people try to ignore this reality because they want the relationship to work. They hope that things will change, or they convince themselves that the person simply made a mistake. But when the same patterns repeat again and again, it becomes clear that the actions are telling the real story. Trusting actions instead of words protects your heart from unnecessary disappointment. It teaches you to observe patiently rather than believe quickly. It encourages you to allow time to reveal who someone truly is before giving them deep trust. People who are sincere will not only speak kindly, but will also show their intentions through reliable behavior. Consistency is the key to genuine trust. Someone who truly values you will not only express their care through words, but will demonstrate it through small, everyday actions. They will show respect when it matters. They will keep their promises when it is inconvenient, and they will remain present when challenges arise. These actions may not always be dramatic or obvious, but over time they form a pattern that clearly shows their true intentions. Learning to trust actions over words also strengthens your ability to make wise decisions about who you allow into your life. Instead of becoming easily influenced by charming promises or emotional statements, you begin to observe patterns. You become more aware of how people behave in real situations, and this awareness allows you to build relationships based on reality rather than illusion. Over time, every person reveals who they truly are. It may not happen immediately, and sometimes it takes patience to see it clearly, but behavior never stays hidden forever. Eventually, actions speak louder than any promise ever could. When you learn to pay attention to those actions, you protect your peace, your dignity, and your heart from people who may speak beautifully, but do not live truthfully. Lesson 2. Not everyone deserves access to your heart. Your heart is one of the most valuable parts of who you are. It carries your emotions, your hopes, your memories, and your deepest vulnerabilities. It is the place where your dreams live and where your pain is felt the most. Because of this, the people you allow close to your heart have the power to influence your happiness, your peace of mind, and sometimes even the direction of your life. Many people make the mistake of giving access to their hearts too quickly. When someone shows kindness, attention, or understanding, it is natural to feel comfortable around them. Human beings are created with a desire to connect with others. We want to feel seen, understood, and appreciated. Because of this natural desire for connection, it becomes easy to open our hearts without fully understanding the character of the person standing in front of us. But wisdom teaches an important lesson. Not everyone deserves access to your heart. Just because someone enters your life does not mean they have earned the right to know your deepest emotions, your fears, or your vulnerabilities. Access to your heart should not be something given freely to everyone who appears kind at first. Instead, it should be something that is slowly earned through trust, consistency, and genuine respect. When people gain access to your heart too quickly, they are given a level of influence over your emotions that they may not deserve. Your mood, your confidence, and even your sense of self-worth can begin to depend on how they treat you. If that person is not sincere or does not truly value your heart, their behavior can create confusion, pain, and emotional instability. Many people learn this lesson the hard way. They share their feelings too soon. They trust someone deeply before observing their true character. They believe the kind words and the warm gestures without giving time for the person's behavior to reveal their true intentions. And when that trust is eventually broken, the pain feels deeper because the heart was opened too quickly. Protecting your heart does not mean becoming cold or distant. It does not mean refusing to connect with others or building walls that keep everyone away. Instead, it means practicing wisdom and patience. It means allowing relationships to grow slowly, giving yourself the time to understand who someone truly is before allowing them to see the most vulnerable parts of you. Time is one of the greatest tests of character. Anyone can appear kind and genuine for a short period. Anyone can present a version of themselves that seems trustworthy in the beginning. But over time, the truth about a person's character becomes clearer. Their consistency, their honesty, and their respect begin to reveal themselves through repeated actions. When you allow time to reveal a person's character, you give yourself the opportunity to see how they treat others, how they handle difficulties, and how they behave when things do not go their way. You begin to notice whether their kindness is genuine or temporary. You see whether they respect boundaries or try to control situations for their own benefit. Healthy relationships are built slowly. They are built through shared experiences, honest communication, and consistent behavior over time. Trust grows naturally when two people show mutual respect and reliability. It cannot be forced, rushed, or demanded. Another important part of protecting your heart is understanding your own value. When you recognize that your emotions, your loyalty, and your vulnerability are precious, you become more careful about where you invest them. You stop seeking approval from people who do not truly appreciate you. You stop giving emotional energy to those who only take without giving respect in return. People who truly deserve access to your heart will never rush you to trust them quickly. They will not pressure you to reveal everything about yourself immediately. Instead, they will show patience. They will respect your boundaries. They will allow trust to grow naturally through consistent actions. These are the people who prove through their behavior that they value your emotional safety. They understand that trust is not something to be demanded, but something to be earned. They show respect not only when things are easy, but also when challenges arise. Protecting your heart is not a sign of weakness or fear. It is a sign of wisdom. It shows that you understand the value of your emotions and that you are willing to protect your peace. When you learn to be careful about who you allow into your inner world, you reduce the chances of unnecessary pain and disappointment. Life will always bring new people into your path. Some of them will be genuine and supportive, while others may only stay for a short moment or have intentions that are not sincere. The key is not to close your heart completely, but to open it with awareness. Allow people to show you who they truly are before giving them full access to your emotions. Let time, consistency, and character guide your decisions. In doing so, you create space in your life for relationships that are built on respect, honesty, and genuine care. And when someone finally earns access to your heart through their actions and character, that trust will feel stronger, safer, and far more meaningful. Lesson 3. Pay attention to red flags. One of the most important skills a person can develop in life is the ability to recognize warning signs in people's behavior. These warning signs are often called red flags. They are small signals that something may not be right in a relationship, friendship, or interaction. Unfortunately, many people ignore these signals in the beginning, only to realize later that those early signs were trying to tell them something important. Red flags rarely appear as loud or obvious warnings. Most of the time, they appear quietly in small moments. It might be the way someone speaks to you when they are upset, the way they treat others when they believe no one important is watching, or the way they avoid responsibility for their own actions. These small behaviors may seem harmless at first, but they often reveal deeper patterns about a person's character. One common reason people ignore red flags is hope. When someone enters our lives and makes us feel valued, understood, or special, we naturally want the relationship to succeed. We want to believe that the person is genuine. Because of that desire, we sometimes convince ourselves that the warning signs are not important. We tell ourselves that the person will change, that it was just a bad day, or that we may be overthinking the situation. However, ignoring red flags can lead to deeper emotional pain later. Small warning signs often grow into larger problems over time. A person who lies about small things may eventually lie about bigger things. Someone who disrespects your boundaries in minor ways may continue pushing those boundaries in more serious ways. Behavior patterns rarely disappear without genuine effort and self-awareness from the person displaying them. Paying attention to red flags does not mean judging people harshly or expecting perfection. Every human being has flaws, and everyone makes mistakes. The difference lies in patterns. A mistake that is followed by accountability and change is very different from repeated behavior that shows no effort to improve. For example, if someone hurts you and then sincerely apologizes, takes responsibility, and changes their behavior, that shows emotional maturity. But if someone repeatedly hurts you, dismisses your feelings, or blames you for their actions, that pattern becomes a clear warning sign. It reveals a lack of respect and accountability. Another red flag often appears in the form of inconsistency. A person may be kind and attentive one day, but distant or dismissive the next. They may make promises but fail to keep them. This inconsistency can create confusion, making it difficult to understand where you truly stand with them. Over time, this type of behavior can cause emotional instability because you are constantly trying to interpret their actions. Manipulation is another serious red flag. Manipulative individuals often try to control situations in subtle ways. They may twist conversations to make you feel guilty, deny things they clearly said or did, or shift blame whenever problems arise. This behavior can slowly make you doubt your own judgment and feelings. Healthy relationships do not require constant confusion or emotional pressure. Disrespect toward others can also reveal important information about someone's character. Observe how people treat those who cannot offer them any advantage, such as service workers, strangers, or individuals they consider less important. A person who shows kindness only when it benefits them may not possess genuine respect or empathy. It is also important to pay attention to how someone reacts when you express boundaries. Boundaries are a healthy and necessary part of any relationship. They protect your emotional well-being and help maintain mutual respect. A person who respects you will understand and honor your boundaries. But someone who repeatedly ignores, challenges, or mocks those boundaries may not truly value your comfort or peace. Listening to your intuition can also help you recognize red flags. Sometimes, something about a situation simply feels wrong, even if you cannot immediately explain why. That feeling is often your mind recognizing patterns of behavior that your conscious thoughts have not fully processed yet. While intuition should not replace clear communication or understanding, it can serve as an important signal to observe more carefully. Paying attention to red flags requires patience and awareness. Instead of rushing into trust, allow yourself time to observe people in different situations. Notice how they handle conflict, how they respond to stress, and how they treat others when circumstances are not in their favor. These moments reveal more about a person's character than any promises they may speak. Recognizing red flags also helps you protect your emotional well-being. When you become more aware of unhealthy behavior patterns, you are less likely to become deeply attached to people who may eventually cause harm. This awareness does not mean becoming suspicious of everyone around you. Rather, it means approaching relationships with clarity and wisdom. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, honesty, and consistency. In those relationships, you feel safe expressing yourself. Your boundaries are respected, your feelings are acknowledged, and disagreements are handled with maturity rather than manipulation. When these qualities are present, trust grows naturally and comfortably. But when red flags continue to appear and remain unaddressed, it becomes important to take them seriously. Ignoring them in hopes that things will change can lead to disappointment and emotional exhaustion. A person's repeated actions reveal far more about their intentions than their words ever could. Understanding this lesson can save you from many painful experiences. By paying attention to early warning signs, you give yourself the opportunity to step back, reflect, and make decisions that protect your peace. It allows you to build relationships with people who genuinely respect and value you, rather than those who only offer temporary kindness. In the end, red flags are not there to make you fearful of relationships. They are there to guide you toward healthier choices. When you learn to recognize and respect these signals, you develop the wisdom to choose people who bring honesty, stability, and genuine care into your life. Lesson 4. Your trust is valuable. Trust is one of the most powerful and meaningful gifts a person can give. It is not something that can be seen or touched, yet it carries enormous weight in every relationship. When you trust someone, you are allowing them into a space that is deeply personal. You are giving them access to your thoughts, your emotions, your fears, and your hopes. In many ways, trust is a silent promise that says, "I believe you will not harm the part of me that I am showing you." Because trust is so powerful, it must never be treated as something small or ordinary. Unfortunately, many people underestimate its value. They give their trust too quickly, without truly understanding the character of the person receiving it. In the beginning, everything may feel safe and comfortable. The words may sound sincere, and the connection may feel genuine. But when trust is given without patience or careful observation, it can sometimes be placed in the wrong hands. Your trust is valuable because it gives another person the ability to affect your emotional world. When someone earns your trust, their actions can influence how you feel about yourself, how you see relationships, and even how you experience happiness. A person who respects your trust can help create feelings of safety, encouragement, and peace. But a person who misuses your trust can create confusion, disappointment, and emotional pain. That is why your trust should never be given lightly. It should be protected with wisdom and awareness. Giving trust too quickly can sometimes lead to situations where people take your loyalty for granted. They may enjoy the comfort of your support and understanding without offering the same level of care in return. Over time, this imbalance can slowly drain your emotional energy. Understanding the value of your trust begins with recognizing your own worth. When you understand that your time, your attention, and your emotional openness are meaningful, you naturally become more careful about where you invest them. Instead of seeking approval from others or trying to prove your loyalty too quickly, you begin to allow people the opportunity to earn your trust through their behavior. People who truly value you will understand the importance of trust. They will not rush you to give it immediately. They will not pressure you to open up faster than you are comfortable. Instead, they will show patience, They will understand that trust grows slowly through repeated moments of honesty, reliability, and respect. Healthy trust is built through consistent actions over time. It grows when someone keeps their promises, respects your boundaries, and treats you with kindness even when it is inconvenient. These behaviors create a sense of stability and safety. Over time, this consistency becomes the foundation upon which strong relationships are built. It is also important to remember that trust is closely connected to boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that protect your emotional well-being. They define what behavior you accept and what behavior you will not tolerate. When you have clear boundaries, you are better able to protect your trust from being misused. For example, if someone repeatedly breaks promises, dismisses your feelings, or disrespects your limits, those actions indicate that your trust may not be safe with them. Recognizing these patterns allows you to step back and reconsider the level of access that person has to your life. Protecting your trust in these moments is not selfish. It is a form of self-respect. Many people struggle with this idea because they fear being seen as distant or unkind. They worry that protecting their trust might push others away. But in reality, the people who truly respect you will never expect unlimited access to your heart without earning it. They will understand that trust must grow naturally and that it becomes stronger when it is built slowly. Another important part of valuing your trust is learning from past experiences. If someone has betrayed your trust before, it does not mean you should become bitter or close yourself off from all relationships. But it does mean you have gained valuable insight. Those experiences can teach you how to recognize warning signs, how to establish stronger boundaries, and how to observe people more carefully before placing your trust in them. When you begin to value your trust more deeply, your relationships become healthier and more balanced. You stop giving your emotional energy to people who only take without giving respect in return. Instead, you begin to attract and appreciate relationships where trust is mutual and where both individuals value honesty and responsibility. It is also important to remember that trust is not only about protecting yourself from harm, it is also about creating meaningful connections with the right people. When trust is built slowly and sincerely, it allows two individuals to support each other in powerful ways. It creates an environment where both people feel safe to express their true selves without fear of judgment or betrayal. People who truly deserve your trust will show it through their character. They will demonstrate honesty even when it is difficult. They will take responsibility for their mistakes instead of avoiding accountability. They will respect your feelings and your boundaries because they understand that your emotional well-being matters. These are the people who understand the true value of trust. They know that once it is broken, it can take a long time to rebuild. Because of that understanding, they treat your trust with care and responsibility. Learning to value your trust also brings a sense of inner strength. Instead of depending on others for validation, you become more aware of your own emotional worth. You realize that your loyalty, your kindness, and your vulnerability are not things to give away carelessly. They are gifts that should be shared with those who demonstrate genuine respect and sincerity. When you treat your trust as something valuable, you protect your peace of mind. You reduce the chances of unnecessary heartbreak and disappointment. At the same time, you create space in your life for people who truly appreciate the depth of your loyalty and the sincerity of your character. In the end, your trust is a reflection of who you are. It represents your willingness to connect, to care, and to believe in others. But just as a valuable treasure is protected, your trust should also be guarded with wisdom. Give it to those who show through their actions that they understand its worth. Give it to those who treat your heart with the same care and respect that you offer to them. When you recognize the true value of your trust, you begin to build relationships that are stronger, healthier, and far more meaningful. Lesson 5. Trust Allah before you trust people. In life, one of the most important truths a person can understand is that human beings are imperfect. No matter how kind someone may seem, no matter how sincere their words appear, every human being has weaknesses. People change, circumstances change, emotions change, and sometimes even the most trusted individuals can disappoint us. This is not always because they intend to cause harm, but because human nature itself is limited. Many of the deepest emotional wounds people experience come from placing complete trust in other human beings. When someone becomes the center of our hopes, expectations, and emotional security, we begin to rely on them in ways that only Allah deserves. We start believing that our happiness depends on their presence, their approval, and their loyalty. But when that person fails us, leaves us, or changes their behavior, the pain can feel overwhelming. This is why one of the most powerful lessons in life is learning to place your trust in Allah before placing it in people. Trust in Allah, often called tawakkul, is not simply a religious concept. It is a deep state of inner peace that comes from knowing that Allah sees everything, understands everything, and controls everything. When you truly place your trust in Allah, you understand that nothing happens without His knowledge and wisdom. Even the events that seem painful or confusing in the moment may carry a hidden purpose that only becomes clear with time. When trust begins with people, our emotions become fragile. We begin to fear losing them, disappointing them, or being abandoned by them. This fear can make us compromise our values, ignore warning signs, or tolerate behavior that harms our peace. We become emotionally dependent on individuals who may not always have the strength or wisdom to carry that responsibility. But when trust begins with Allah, something inside your heart becomes stronger and calmer. You understand that while people may enter and leave your life, Allah's presence remains constant. His wisdom never fails, His justice never disappears, and His mercy never runs out. This perspective changes the way you view relationships and challenges. Instead of believing that every loss is a disaster, you begin to see that sometimes Allah removes people from your life for reasons that protect you. A relationship that ends, a friendship that fades, or a connection that breaks may feel painful in the moment. But with time, many people look back and realize that what once felt like a loss was actually a form of protection. Allah sees what we cannot see. He knows the intentions hidden in people's hearts. He knows the paths that will lead us toward growth and the paths that could lead us toward harm. When we trust Him, we accept that even the events we do not understand are part of a larger wisdom. Trusting Allah before trusting people does not mean refusing to build relationships. Islam encourages kindness, cooperation, and strong bonds between individuals. Relationships are an important part of life, but those relationships should never become the foundation of our emotional stability. The true foundation should always be our connection with Allah. When your trust is anchored in Allah, you approach relationships with balance. You appreciate people, but you do not depend entirely on them for your sense of security. You care for them, but you understand that they are human and capable of mistakes. This balance protects your heart from becoming shattered when someone disappoints you. Another powerful aspect of trusting Allah is understanding that hardship often carries hidden wisdom. Many people go through moments where they feel betrayed, abandoned, or misunderstood. In those moments, it may feel as though life has treated them unfairly. But over time, these difficult experiences often lead to personal growth, stronger character, and deeper faith. Sometimes, a person who leaves your life was preventing you from becoming the person you were meant to be. Sometimes, a broken relationship redirects your path towards something healthier and more meaningful. Sometimes, disappointment teaches lessons that success could never teach. When your heart trusts Allah, these moments of pain become easier to endure. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What is Allah teaching me through this experience?" This shift in perspective transforms pain into growth. It allows you to learn from every experience rather than becoming bitter or hopeless. Trusting Allah also teaches patience. In a world where everything seems to move quickly, patience has become rare. People often want immediate answers, immediate success, and immediate emotional satisfaction. But life does not always unfold according to our timelines. Sometimes the things we desire most take time. Sometimes the prayers we make are answered in ways we did not expect. And sometimes the delays we experience are actually blessings that protect us from rushing into situations that are not right for us. When you trust Allah, you accept that His timing is always wiser than your own. You understand that every delay may carry protection, every difficulty may carry a lesson, and every change may be guiding you toward something better. This trust also brings emotional freedom. When your heart relies on Allah, the opinions and actions of people begin to lose their power over your peace. If someone disappoints you, it still hurts, but it does not destroy your sense of stability. If someone leaves your life, it still brings sadness, but it does not take away your sense of purpose. Your strength comes from knowing that Allah remains with you through every stage of life. Over time, this trust creates a deeper connection between you and your Creator. You begin to turn to Allah not only in moments of crisis, but also in moments of gratitude. You begin to see His guidance in both the challenges and the blessings that appear in your life. This connection becomes a source of comfort that no human relationship can fully replace. People may support you, encourage you, and stand beside you in difficult moments, and those relationships are valuable. But human support will always have limits. Only Allah's support is unlimited. When you place your trust in Allah first, every other relationship in your life becomes healthier. You approach people with kindness, but you no longer expect them to fill the space in your heart that only Allah can fill. You learn to appreciate them without becoming emotionally dependent on them. And when disappointment does come, as it inevitably will at times, your heart remains steady. You remind yourself that Allah sees your sincerity, your patience, and your intentions. You trust that every experience, whether joyful or painful, is guiding you toward a future that Allah knows is best for you. In the end, trusting Allah before trusting people is not about distancing yourself from the world. It is about strengthening your heart so that no matter what happens in your relationships, your peace remains rooted in something greater. When your trust begins with Allah, you carry a quiet confidence within you. You understand that while people may change, Allah never changes. While people may fail, Allah never fails. And that realization becomes one of the greatest sources of strength a person can ever have. Before we end, remember something very important. Not every person who enters your life is meant to stay forever. Some people come as a blessing, while others come as a lesson. Every experience, whether it brought you happiness or pain, carries wisdom that helps you grow stronger. If someone once broke your trust, do not let that pain turn your heart into bitterness. Instead, let it turn into wisdom. Let it teach you patience, awareness, and the ability to recognize who truly deserves a place in your life. Guard your heart, but do not close it. Be kind, but be wise. And most importantly, place your trust in Allah before anyone else. Because when your heart is connected to Allah, no disappointment from people can truly break you. May Allah protect your heart from those who do not value it, guide you toward people who respect and appreciate you, and fill your life with relationships built on sincerity, loyalty, and faith. If this reminder touched your heart, take a moment to reflect on it and share it with someone who may need these words today. And always remember, the heart that trusts Allah will never be truly lost.